Did you know teachers aren't humans? They're not allowed to show stress or age, have health problems, show fear, waste time, and most of all, fail. They're not even allowed to go to the bathroom. But that's okay, because we're here to talk about how we're all just playing a role. And at 3 o'clock, we get to be us again. 40 years ago, two 8-year-old boys were bored out of their minds in school, and they vowed one day they would do something about it. They did it to honor their friends. They did it to honor their classmates. They did it for the love of learning. I'm Matt, and this is Rob, and 40 years later, we get our turn, but now we're playing teacher.
Wrote some stuff down, but
recording in progress.
Okay.
All right.
Recording's in progress.
Recording is in progress, as we were definitely ready for that. All right. Welcome to Playing Teacher. I'm Matt. This is Rob here. The Brugger's in the house. And how's everybody doing? What's happening?
Okay. Tired on this Sunday morning. Is it Sunday?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I think I should just clear up that it is WrestleMania weekend, and I just wanted to be, make that very clear.
Is
And
that
if
like
it's
tonight?
No, it's 2 nights. It's Saturday night and Sunday night, so that's why it's weekend. Yeah, they do it now. The last few years, we have 2 nights because the car used to be like 6 or 7 hours, so now they just broke it up to a 2-night thing. So Dylan is a new fan, a very obsessed fan like me. Since I was telling Rob, since like the summer, he always kind of liked it, but I'm obviously obsessed with it. And so we took him to like a lucha thing in Brooklyn, like a lucha, like a little lucha libre thing, outside. And that started. And then like the week after, we were going to see SmackDown at Barclays. So we had these 2 things, right? Because we were trying to figure out, Dylan and I, like when he really like got hooked on it. And it was, I think, going to see it at SmackDown at Barclays when he like saw the ring and he put it together and he was taking it all in. And he, so now he's, like my best
you
buddy
lost me at
wrestling
Nacho
pal.
Libre. I have no idea what you just said.
I didn't say Nacho Libre. I said
You don't need to
Libre.
you don't need to explain it. I just
Like wrestling Mexico. All right. So I guess Rob was more interested in what I had to say about wrestling, but don't you have like isn't your brother a big wrestling fan?
My brother-in-law Chris is like
Oh, your brother-in-law.
obsessed. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you. You guys talk about it like I talk about Disney and Star Wars.
Yeah. So think of him, okay? I don't think he likes that, he just dismissed Lucha Libre as Nacho Libre. That's 2 different things. That's a character in a movie. And that was his wrestling name. What would be your wrestling names, guys, if you had to have them?
Oh, well, looks like Rob's getting right into before we
okay. Yeah, this is all right, we're going in a different direction.
Before we even talk about this, I like to just make a disclaimer. We're going to talk about safety concerns in schools today, and we're going to talk about shooters and things that have happened recently in the news. So if you have any triggers or you don't want to listen to this because it's going to be a heavy topic, please just take care of yourself. Just wanted to put that out there.
Warning. Good idea, Brugge.
Yeah, definitely good idea. All right, so we're definitely off wrestling, going into another direction. We're gonna go in a serious direction right now, and this was in
the professor.
This was in Oklahoma, right?
Yeah, the professor. That'd be my wrestling name, the professor.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm reading what you put up there on the screen.
Yeah.
It's we need the professor. We're bouncing back and forth between a shooting And then we're a little off on our timing, and then you're going back to. I thought you were saying like Professor saved the shooter, but
Yeah,
what's
that's what
the
I.
principal?
No,
You
no,
know,
okay,
so
but no, but
oh, you're
all
the
right,
professor.
watch.
Okay.
This is a quick one. Watch the video. This just happened. This is a principal who saved who knows how many kids from being
The
shot.
day.
This
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
the first week in April. Yeah,
This
and
guy here enters the school with a
yep.
firearm
And
right
this was
here.
in Oklahoma, right?
And this is a kid who's blurred out here. Notice this kid, right? He
Yeah,
probably
this
would
was in
have.
Oklahoma, right?
I think so.
Yes.
He
Yeah.
probably would
Okay.
have been. He probably would have been the first person.
Yeah.
You know. Okay.
All right. So
Boom. Principal comes.
Holy
Kid takes
tackles
off. Look
him.
at. He's holding the.
Tackles him.
Here's the gun. He's holding the gun.
Yep. So now I could tell you that he was taken to the hospital. Um, he's okay. And did you know, like, when he came back to school, that they took him? He went to the prom, and they made all the kids, like everybody, they gave him like a standing ovation. They made him like the prom king,
Here.
Well,
principal.
like I'm watching this video. How did this principal see him? Like,
I mean, look at.
We'll go back to the
look
details.
at
Let's
this.
take a look. Let's
Wait,
slow
wait,
it
wait.
down.
Holy shit.
Look right
Let's
here.
take a look.
The guy is he's waving the gun
Walking
around.
in.
He points it at the kid. Watch this. He cocks it. He points it at the kid,
Oh,
Yep.
and
God.
then principal comes out,
Principal with the gun
holds
that
it.
could have been turned towards his head.
Yes.
Principal knocks him down because he had it right there.
Drops the gun. This fella kicks it away,
Speaking of wrestling, that was like, that would be like
All
a
right.
spear in wrestling.
Wow.
and he
What
got
a,
shot. I don't know
Complete
where he got
tackle.
shot, but
what a hero.
Complete tackle. Yeah, he was taken to
So,
the hospital, and he got shot in the leg, by the way, if that wasn't clear.
yes.
okay.
Yeah.
And he
you
came
know,
back, and the kids, it made, like I was saying, it's so much of the kid. They made him the they made he was at the prom, and they made him like the what's it called?
like
They made
the
him like the
prom
prom king.
king.
Yeah, they made him like the prom king.
So
Kids gave him
let's just talk about the fact, Rob, you sent us a picture of this man yesterday.
Yeah.
How old do you
Six,
think he
he's
was?
60 years old.
Easily. I mean,
6-year-old?
definitely 60s. Yeah.
Yeah.
If
mean,
if not 70. I mean, yeah. But I'd say let's just call it 65 or something. 60, because he's still, he's still working.
I think he's
Mhm.
60. I think I saw it. He was 60.
When you sent that picture, that was not who, like, I couldn't imagine until I saw the video him running and tackling the shooter.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
It's amazing, incredible.
If you're working in a school right now, ask yourself the question, is there someone in that school who would do that? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, right. I don't know. People, it's
The gun's in your hand. The gun's in the guy's hands, And, well, here's the thing also. How fast can you run? Because that guy, he looked, all right, looking at him, right? And he looked a little, overweight, right? He has some weight on him. He's a big guy. And I'm not talking about the shooter. I'm talking, potential shooting. I'm talking about the principal, right? So he
Yeah.
was able to get enough adrenaline to haul ass quickly. So you would have to be physically able to get there really fast. So, and
I was saying, like, where was he? Where was he? Was he watching the videos? I mean, principals don't, we have school safety. Safety is watching the videos, the cameras. So did he, I'd like to know. What an incredible, I mean,
I don't know. But see, the question is, like, why did he do it instead of the school safety?
I don't know. But
So, like, if he was
because
watching it with school safety, wouldn't school safety step in before the principal, right?
But that's what's so, that's what I love about this story, is that he just went for it. He didn't think, there was no thought. He was just like, I'm going to
couldn't at that
save
point. Well,
at my school.
At that point, it was that kid he was holding the gun out right at the kid.
Like I've had
And
conversations.
I think that the kid that the guy that they arrested was 20 years old. He was going to, I think, take out like everybody. I think he was like saying that's what his intention was. It was no, this wasn't like, you know, just a thing where he just decided, hey, I'm going in. I think he wanted to do a whole thing. I think it said also I don't know if he went there, but he hated the principal, or something like that. So there was a lot
I
going
don't
on
know.
there, but
I didn't,
but he was going there for what he was doing there. Which is that kid was not going to survive that he had the gun on. He was going down, you know.
so
Um, so the principal basically, you know, is a hero. He basically stepped in front of a gun that was about to go off, and he did get shot. He got shot in the leg. So, obviously there were bullets in that gun, and because he got shot, and he took the bullet
So
literally for that.
let's talk about what happens in a
mhm.
school when when there are gunshots outside the school or whatever, like there are drills, just like there are, like everyone knows what a fire drill is, right?
Yeah,
I think
that's what
like
we started
anyone who's
with.
ever been to school has done a fire drill, but
Well,
I
in the
don't think
2000s, look what we have now. We have, you have evacuation, we have shelter-ins, we have holds, we have lockdowns, we have soft lockdowns and hard lockdowns. This is just within the last 20 years
yeah.
that this has changed.
What are they
It's
though?
changed what's that?
Like let's go through what they are.
Okay. Evacuation is used when um, it's necessary to leave the building for a fire or gas leak. Staff and students follow established evacuation routes.
And
The
just
strangest one to me now is, because we as teachers have to do this in the classroom, is the lockdowns, where you got the soft one and the hard one. Um, you do drills, and you have to hide the kids in your room. So like Rob, when we started doing this, we never had anything like this. But but I remember 2 years ago we were doing this. We would have to hide when you set up your classroom at the beginning of the year. Like it wasn't ever. It didn't used to be a thought that you have to actually now think about. Wait, did I block where I'm going to have to hide the kids in the room for these drills? Because then you have to have the classes are oversized. Sometimes you can have two classes in there, right? So you always have to make sure that the kids can hide. You lock the door. So if you don't know where your keys are, you're going to be in major trouble. So you always have to have it in a certain place.
yeah,
You
just
know what I mean?
I want to intermittently interrupt you because people won't
Yeah,
be
yeah,
able to, people who aren't teachers won't be able to follow this.
yeah,
Doors in classrooms only lock with a key from the
yeah.
outside. Right. So you can't, there's no lock on the inside. So that's one thing. So yes, what Matt is
Mhm.
saying is you have to have your keys. You would have to lock the door
You
from
have to
the
go to the
outside
door
and
with the
close it.
key, lock it, and then
Well,
s-
the doors are actually supposed to be locked at all times. You're supposed to
right.
have your key on you at all times, and the doors are supposed to be locked at all times.
Now, is
So
that the
that,
case now?
yeah. So if there's a shelter drill or a real situation,
You won't
all
have
you
to
have to
do
do is
that.
close your door.
But what do you do? But you're not supposed to lock it then when, let's say you want to close the door
Hmm.
when you're working because it's too noisy or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So you have to but then you have to unlock it, right? Because you can't lock the
No.
door with the kids in it. Do you keep it
Nope.
locked?
It has to be locked,
Mm,
and sometimes teachers prop it with like a
A
wood
little
block,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
right?
So it's not closed
Or
all the way, where it's still
correct.
open. Yeah.
There's these
Right.
like magnetic things that we had received that you put over the latch in the door. So what you do is like
Oh
when the
yeah,
door
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
closes,
those
it
suck
doesn't
so
lock.
bad.
It doesn't latch it. So then
No,
that
They
no,
way
don't
no.
kids
last
can
though.
come
Those
in and
Those
things.
are
out.
great. It's just a magnet
Yeah, I thought
that
so
it's
too.
just a magnet that prevents the locking
Yeah, but
mechanism
they
from
don't. They
going in.
Yeah.
start to break after a little while, so you have to get like
Yeah,
a
but
few of them. Yeah, you gotta
yeah,
have to keep changing it.
but you have to
You put
have
it in. You put it in the
have
side there. That's what I meant by it would
yeah.
be a thing where they start to peel apart after a little while because the doors were old and they kept coming open and shut, open and shut. They start to eventually break them.
So doors locked, but what Matt is
Yep.
saying too now is just like when we had the conversation about where do you put your desk. And for example,
Hmm.
one thing I said is I placed the desk in a place where if someone is outside the door looking into this narrow window on the door, because these aren't big, the doors don't have at least in our school, the doors don't have big windows, um, so there are parts of the room that are invisible, basically, unless you're in the room. If you're standing outside trying to peek through a window, you can't see them. For me, like when it came to like hiding the kids, we were lucky though, Matt, because we had a side office. That was always my go-to. Like I would shuttle the kids in there because we just blacked out that window, because that
Right.
was our office. And so to me, they would be safer in there. But if we didn't have that, it would have to be like in that left corner, right when you walked in.
Mhm.
Right. Yep. The left corner.
Some teachers put all 25 to 32 children
In the
in like a
bathroom.
bathroom,
Yeah.
like just
Yep.
shove them in
If
a
they had a
bathroom.
bathroom, right? Right.
Yeah.
And then the
Um,
kids have to be quiet,
Yes.
right?
yeah.
Like, so they're shoved together, and then they have to be quiet. Then someone comes around the school and then starts fiddling with the doorknobs to see if they can get in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, so picture this, it's silent, right? And everyone you're like, and then is completely quiet. Of course you're gonna get a giggle or two, and then you look at them and you're like, and everyone's like, and then you're waiting and it's completely quiet. And keep in mind, you were just doing math like 5 seconds ago, whatever you were doing, right? So this happens all of a sudden. And then everyone's in a completely different setting. And then you wait and you hear the fiddle of the door knob. And I can tell you, it is scary when you hear that because it's like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like,
That
it's
was
like
me. I was a sweeper.
oh, you were the sweeper. Oh, you were the sweeper going around.
That was
Dude, when you're
me.
inside with the kids, I don't know if you were ever on the other side of it. It's a
No.
creepy sound when the doorknob goes. So I can imagine that if you're 5 years old, holy shit, that is scary.
Yeah.
It's a scary thing just for
It's
the prep.
scary, but we
And
live in a scary world and they
no, I
have to get
know.
used to it,
And
It's
then it's finally then it's like, the lockdown has been lifted. Continue. You just get and then everybody's
yeah.
like, oh, they go back to what they're doing and you get the laughs and everything. And you go, all right, everybody go back to work.
Just props, because I think any teacher listening to this, if you've been part of this or even if you haven't, I feel very confident in saying that any teacher would, in their mind in that moment, is thinking, I'm going to protect my kids. Right? I would
Mhm.
think anyway. I mean, maybe
We're
there's
talking about the drills now, or you're talking about if it really happened?
I mean,
Well, I mean, if
what are we
you,
talking about?
Rob,
Like
Rob,
that
I've
guy?
had conversations with some adults where I'd be like, I am running in the opposite direction. I am saving myself. Like it's crazy. People are just like, nope.
no, I mean, in my mind, I
Uh,
like in that situation, because I've played this through in my mind because I have catastrophism, right? So, in my mind, I thought like, if there's ever a shooter in school, if they come to my room, they're dead. Like I'm gonna, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
no,
maybe we both die, but I'm gonna kill them. You know what I mean? Like,
I thought the same thing. Like there is basically if they got in with the gun, then you have all you can do is attack. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Because you know what I mean? There's nothing else. And so you're going down swinging, yeah, I
And,
would just attack first
and we had
at
plenty of
that
things in
point.
our room that could be.
Yeah, no, you throw a screwdriver at them,
So
something that's, the ninja skills come in at that point. It's like you become an animal. I would think that's all you could do at that point is, um,
I
just
don't know.
hope for a
I don't
miracle.
know what
Like
I would
that.
do.
I mean, you don't know, but I'm saying, what would you think? What would you do?
I don't
And
know.
that's the
I
only thing,
freeze
you,
up in situations like this. So I really don't know. I don't know. Like you guys know about the police stories to my house. So
yes,
like, you know what I mean? Like I have no
we
idea.
do.
So like I really don't know what I would do.
Uh,
I mean, we were told to push like to push furniture in front of the doors. We
yeah.
were told to like grab a weapon, like if there's
Mm-hmm.
something that you can grab to defend yourself. I mean, like it was like do whatever you can to protect yourself and the child or children that are in your room. It's very scary. There was one time where we had a shelter in. So a shelter in is when there's something happening outside of the school building and the school goes on like business as usual,
Mm-hmm.
but all the doors are locked, so
Yeah.
nobody can get into the building.
Right.
And I was outside of the building during a shelter in. So now I
Yeah, that
am
was weak there,
trying to get back into the building, and I have like the assistant principal on the other side going, "We cannot let you in." Like,
Yeah.
so they're like, "Go to the nearest
Take
store
cover.
and hide." There's a shooter. There were helicopters. I mean, like, it's so fucking scary. It was so scary. So
Matt-
now I had to run to the sea town and hide in one of the aisles. Like,
Which aisle?
the one with the Oreos.
Matt,
Very free aisle.
Matt, do you remember though in our room, if you looked out the window, it didn't. If I remember correctly, there was a roof, wasn't there?
Yeah, we had like a roof there.
Like it was like we were on the second floor, but there was a roof because
okay.
like
Yeah.
it was like over. So like and you could unlatch that metal thing. So technically, we could get the kids out
If
onto
we
this
had to.
roof.
We-
I
you
thought
know, we
about
know-
this
we-
too.
Yeah, I mean, technically, yeah, that would be an option. But at that point, if the guy's coming in, there'd be no time to get them out, you know?
Well, I don't know. I disagree with that because if the guys you don't know. I mean, it depends on where he is, like or she, like
Well, if he just came in, as soon as we made a noise, you just walk into the room. That's it. I mean,
no.
it sounds horrible.
I'm not talking about the
But if
class. The person's in the school. You don't know. Like
Oh, so I
the
thought you
amount of
meant if
time
he
it
was
takes.
coming in the room. You know what I mean? You decided then not to be.
No,
I was saying an
no.
alternate. Oh, okay, I
No.
misunderstood you. I thought you meant like, instead at that point, if he was
Instead of
coming in,
cramming
instead of
them in the
tackling him, you were
corner,
going to get the kids out. What?
instead of cramming them in the corner, you could
Oh, just
actually
going
get
up
them
to the
out.
roof as
Yeah.
an
Go out the
alternate.
window.
Yeah,
Because-
that obviously be the safer one.
And then
but,
leave the door unlocked, and then we stay in the room
But
and hide.
would there be enough
when-
time
and
to
when they
get
come in,
30
we
kids
attack.
through a window? Yeah, but you'd have to do drills on how to get them out.
Maddie, you're so serious.
Place.
No, I feel confident that I feel confident that I could go cold, like no practice whatsoever. Whatever class you give me, I can get them out that window within 2 minutes, all of them.
You're forgetting I'm talking to Rob. Okay, this is the same guy that put toys on the ceiling in the gym for teachers to find. I believe that he'll do anything. Basically, because he's proven it, So
Wait, does
like when he
Brugge
says he's
think-
going to get
does
the kids
Brugge
on the
think-
roof during a lockdown, I was like, yeah, he probably would,
Wait,
for safety.
does Brugge think I'm kidding about the roof?
No.
He thinks
Okay.
you're
No.
kidding.
Okay.
And I'm
No,
thinking you're dead
I
know.
serious
She doesn't.
that
She
you would do
doesn't.
that.
No, I know he would do that. I know he would fucking do that. He would have those
'Cause
kids out there.
I'm going so far as like, yeah, we'd have to probably do drills, Rob. You know what I mean? Like with the kids. So in the middle of the day, we're going up to the roof to do safety drills. So I'm like, what do you do? The principal comes in. We're just doing safety drills going up to the roof in case a shooter comes in. Right.
Wait, did you ever
Back in the day, you probably would have got away with it.
did you ever unlock the metal thing and go out there?
No, I never went up to
Oh
the
yeah,
roof.
yeah. See, I
Did
did.
you?
That's why.
You went up
Yeah,
to
of
it?
course,
Okay, see.
of course, I did.
Wait, did did I go up with you ever?
No, it was right outside of our classroom.
Get
I
out of
know, I know.
here.
No, because I went out there to scope it out because I was thinking I could do stuff out here. Like I could build a
Science
greenhouse
stuff.
out here or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
you know?
exactly. Yeah.
But then I think I got shot down with the
I was gonna say,
ideas.
did you
But
get that shut down?
Yeah.
They shut you down.
yeah, like a weather station, whatever.
Right.
That would have been cool.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about.
I should have went out there and light out the sun and stuff. It'd be nice.
Let's talk about fire drill / evacuation, because that's
Okay.
an interesting thing too. The alarm goes off, and
Fire drills. Oh man.
this was basically this.
Well, can we just before we talk about that, can we just get into a little bit about like the first school shooting that was like really televised and media frenzy was the Columbine for me. I don't know what it was for you guys. I'm assuming it was.
Yeah,
You guys
I
remember
think the
that?
guy that did this one said this is what's awful. The guy that went for the shooting said he was like fascinated with that, and that's why he did this one. How fucked up is that? You know, the guy that they arrested for, for this, for the
Mhm.
Oklahoma principal, they got shot. That he was,
Yeah.
I read that he was influenced by this, this, which is
I mean,
another
I think
level.
that Columbine really like was the turning point, even though there were a lot of school shootings prior to that. Columbine was the one that was like heavily televised.
Yeah.
I think there was like, because it was like white suburbia, and then you have a shooting, and like it was not that there wasn't any shootings prior, but then all of a sudden I felt like there was just like this turning point in a lot of suburban neighborhoods where they started doing the lockdowns and the shut-ins and all of that. Sorry, Rob, you were about to ask a question.
I was going to ask you, I don't think you were there. Were you at SUNY Albany when it was a shooter in the lecture center?
No, I don't think
I
so.
think it was
Wait,
I think it was my freshman year. Um, my freshman year, there was a shooter who came in with a duffel bag and had a rifle in it. And he was
are
in
you
the,
Oh
shit?
man.
no, serious, look it up. He was in the lecture center. He went into, I was skipping class. I think he went into, well, no, I was in class and I was in biology lecture, 500 students. He came into that room, too many people. He left. He went into another lecture center. And then there was a student who tackled him and got shot in the leg in the groin area.
Wait, so you saw the guy when you were in the
Holy crap,
lecture come in? You saw the
December.
guy come in first?
I didn't see the guy. I mean, well, no.
That
I
he
just, I
came
just,
into your room with the bag when you were with
yeah,
500 students.
but the room is like 4 times the size of a
It's
school
huge.
auditorium. It's 500 students in this
Oh,
lecture.
I know.
It
Had you
was
know he
And you come in through the back. So all the people sitting in the room are looking forward. He came in, there was too many people. He left. He went into a smaller lecture
Whoa.
center.
He held 35 students hostage for 2 hours at University of Albany on December 4th, 1994.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was my freshman year.
Wow.
So like something like that happens, right? You know, do you go home like and what do you do after that? Like when you left, Rob, did you just go back to, go to your family and talk about it, or do you remember what you did that day?
No,
After
I barely remember. I mean, because it wasn't, it was like it happened in proximity, but it didn't affect me. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but
It's very scary.
I think you do, like for me, you start running through this scenario of like, what if I was in that room? Like, you know what I mean? Like, would I have done the same thing? Like, then you start running through all of that. But yeah,
Yeah. And like what Rob said, all the lecture centers, all the LCs, you were facing forward. So the back, the doors were behind you. So couldn't, you wouldn't have seen him walk through the door. Wow.
um,
Mm.
I was gonna bring up a picture of the guy, but
I just Googled it as you were talking. We had some like situations where we didn't have lockdowns, but like some scary situations. And I feel like things are handled as well as possible. Obviously, people make mistakes and you learn from your mistakes. But I have to say, for the most part, all of our administrators, no matter like what building I worked in, like obviously safety is a huge concern. We take it very seriously. That's why we run those drills.
Yeah,
Um,
I would say so. I think where
yeah,
we run into problems like is with like dismissal, and yeah, you know,
yeah,
like I feel like it's been sloppy that way.
yeah.
Where
think
I've
Okay.
seen other schools handle it better.
think of how hard this like. So think of dismissal though, how hard it is, right? Like
It
I
is.
remember the first school I was at. We talked about Dr. Margolin, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it was so easy. We'd bring the class outside, and then if they saw their parent, I see someone, they would just run, right?
Right.
And I mean, I'm taught this was 2001, 2002, and then but then it like obviously for many different reasons because you know society is getting crazier, but dismissal becomes harder, right? So at the school that
Hmm.
we were all at, like there's this line in the schoolyard. All the
One
parents
big
are
line,
crammed
and
behind
then
there, and all
all
the
the
classes.
classes
Yeah.
are separate. And then the parents, it's like, are waving across.
Yeah.
So it looks like,
It's like a river.
it looks like you're working on Wall Street in the stock market.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's just like, over here, over here, over here, over here, come
Yeah.
here, 20 different languages,
Yeah.
everybody like, over here. And then you have your
And
kids lined up. And then you're like, you see, but you don't really see because it's insane. You sort of see a hand, coming in. You're like, so you always have to tell the kids, do you know that person, right? Or you do a high.
yeah.
Some teachers do like a high five. That means a yes, I know that person. Then, but then sometimes there's a kid who doesn't know the person, which then you have a problem. They're just sort of standing there. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's yours. Yes, that's your person.
That's yours. That's your
That's
person.
your like,
Who is that? Who is
the
that?
kid's frozen. So then what do? You have to, it's like you wait, you're holding the kid and they're yelling at you, come on, come on, come on. And you can't let the kid go because you're not sure. So then you have to wait and, they're getting upset. They're not allowed to cross the line. You got school aides there just to make sure no parent comes in this middle area. And then you got to wait and go to the, the admin that's there. Be like, he's not sure. I don't know. So then they have to take him in. They go
Yeah.
look at a card in the office, the
Yep.
blue card or whatever color it is.
In a
And
big
they have
file
to,
folder.
right. And they have to figure, the big file that's so easy to find, in the middle of, your day where everything is, right? So you go through a file and then they have to make a call and figure out who this person is and why doesn't this person know? And if they're not on the blue card, it becomes a whole thing. You have to call like 8 different people and verify that this is the person that can go. And that happens, because you
Yeah.
can't just let the person go, I'm the
something-
babysitter of the babysitter's babysitter, and that's my cousin's cousin, and I'm supposed to take him home. There's a whole story behind
There's
it,
something else though that's more scary, and it could be the person's father, but there in Brugge, you know this. There are cases where there's like a
Not
restraining
allowed to
order
go.
against
Yeah.
one parent. So
It
like
Yeah.
happens.
whatever, and so like the kid is like, that's my father. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Right.
and then
And
if you
like,
let them
yeah,
go
but
with the father, and the father's not the custodian, you know what I mean? Like that turns into a whole legal thing.
Yeah.
Like
And for
basically like
you
an
guys,
abduction.
right. And for you guys, like as cluster teachers, it must have been,
That was
there's
hard.
a lot.
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah, it was really
nightmare. We
hard,
don't
I'm
know,
sure.
and I'm going from the perspective
Right.
that we don't dismiss all the time, So, it sometimes it becomes a thing where you're dismissing. You automatically sometimes become a sub because sometimes you're dismissing a class that you're not used to dismissing. So even if you know the kids, you don't know their family life with, how they're going home. So you might be dismissing a class you never dismissed before. And the teachers in Russia, they sort of give you some basic information. But you're teaching and then you're processing this and you hope you get it right, But that's kind of scary. But that's really what goes on for a substitute dismissing. As being a substitute who dismissed, the worst part is dismissal because you hope that all the kids, the number one thing is you hope they're all safe. But it's kind of scary to go home, especially, the later years. It's the opposite. Like the times, I just felt like, I don't know. I grew up in the 80s and I felt like it was insane, but I just feel like now we're in a new level of insanity, right? With where maybe we're just more aware of
Yeah,
how
I
screwed
think
up people can be. And maybe it was always going on. Obviously it was, but I just feel like, it definitely, there's so many fucking crazy people out there. And when you're
Yeah.
responsible for 30 little kids going home, dismissal is fucking scary for the teacher just to
guys
make
ever-
sure that all the kids go in the right place.
You guys
Yeah.
ever take kids on a field trip on the bus? I mean, on the train, on the subway?
Yes.
Yeah. That's scary.
No.
With 2 teachers
That's scary. That's scarier than dismissal, I think.
going to see a Broadway show. They
Yeah.
said take the train, and that was, oh my God, yeah. We took the subway. I took 2 teachers who went with me. I'm so glad they went, and they were
They're just
awesome.
crossing the street is one thing. Like just getting 30, 60 kids across a street to get to the subway. That's one thing, right? Then getting down to the subway platform, making sure
Mhm.
make that moment where the
Yeah.
doors open, you got to make sure every
Yep.
kid gets into the subway car.
I was just thinking about the subway doors. You got to make sure. So I'm holding the doors. I'm making everybody in. You got to make sure they all get into the cart. and then you got to keep them all in the same area. Then in the middle of this, you got strangers are mixed in with you
Yes.
in the area, which is another level. And there's nothing you could do about that, because
Yeah.
you got,
This is not like
many
the
kids.
Hogwarts Express where it's just the students getting in. It's like
You got
an 8
every,
million commuters
you
in New
don't
York
know
City.
who, right. So that could be, completely normal people or sometimes not. And you're stuck there. So, and then you have to make sure that your kids are behaving at the same time, and everybody, hopefully if they're
That's
going on.
so anxiety provoking to
Yeah.
to know that you might lose a student or a student might be kidnapped. Like I have so many so many scenarios in my
Yeah.
head that would happen.
Student
That's why
doesn't
I've
get
never
off the
done it.
train in time.
Like,
They're
oh my
going to the
goodness.
next station.
The bus was easier taking them to go see
Oh, that was
play them,
great. Yeah, I didn't mind the
Yeah, the
bus.
bus is once you get them on because you also have other people with you, so we're just going from school to school. Once they're off the bus, you're right in front of the place. That's
Yeah.
dreamy compared to the subway. But the subway, I'm fine walking in the street, but getting them on and off the train, it was a thing, like getting them all in and stuff. And
Leaving.
we came back at night, right? And not night. We went to see a play, right? So it was like after hours. So it's like rush hour time. Times Square coming back.
Yeah.
On the subway, right?
Did you guys ever have to do bus drills when you were kids?
No, I
What's
don't
I had
remember
to do
anything
bus
like that.
drills.
What's a bus
Yeah.
drill?
No.
A school bus drill. So if your school went on a class trip and something happened to the bus, like say there was an accident or the bus was on fire or I don't know, we would have to do school bus drills where we would have to jump out of the back of the bus.
Oh, that's so cool. Wait, did you take a school bus to school?
Elementary, no. Middle school and high school, yes.
Was it a school bus though? Yeah, I guess it was.
Yeah, it was
Because
a
I
yellow
never
bus.
took a school bus in my life,
Yeah,
but I took a
yellow
city
bus.
bus. Matt,
I
you probably
didn't.
took a
Okay.
city subway or
Did you
something
guys
too.
have city bus drills?
No.
No. I took a school bus in middle school for 3 years. So there was definitely no safety protocols because coming back for fun. This is what I was known for on the bus.
I can't wait to hear it.
We would hit this pothole every day, right? And every day we'd all jump, because and we'd fly. I was known as the kid who was able to, I timed the jump that I sort of jumped slightly before it. So by the time we hit it, I basically looked like I was flying. I was stuck in the air, and everybody be like, "Whoa, he's doing it again! He's doing it again!" So yeah, no, I was a moron who could have killed myself on
Hoppy
the bus.
Gilmore, wrestling name, Hoppy Gilmore.
And I was coming back, So yeah, so bus driver, yeah, we weren't doing any safety drills,
No.
I'm coming back.
My
I
School
don't know that they do those anymore.
My
I don't know.
my school was K to 8, and it was 5 blocks away. This is where I went to school with Jamie, who we
Okay.
have on.
All right.
And so, yeah, and then in 8th grade, you could
Teacher who became
7th
an
and 8th grade,
administrator
you
for our
could
listeners.
from 5th grade on, you could always go home for lunch. So 7th and 8th grade, me and my friend Greg Catania would run home, make 4 grilled cheese sandwiches, watch Perfect Strangers, do the dishes, and run back every single day. That was our thing.
Okay, bye, Moose.
Yeah, every single day we would do that.
2 grilled cheese sandwiches each, huh? That's nice.
Two each, yeah,
Yeah.
with some yoo-hoo usually,
Nice.
Is he your friend that spins the bread so that it's
Yeah.
perfectly sealed?
Yep. Normal, like when
My
you have
friend Greg, this is what I remember. I have no capacity for anything else, but I remember this. My friend Greg was able to seal the bread by just spinning the bread.
no, not just
and
spinning it. It was something unique. It was like if you have a thing of Wonder Bread, you take your 2 slices out, and then usually I just spin it down here, and I put the little plastic thing back on there. He did this other thing where he whipped it around somehow. It was it was more efficient, and that's like the person who does things differently. Everyone knows someone like this. They don't do things the way everyone else does. Maybe they figured out how to tie their shoes faster. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, it's called Matt.
Yeah.
It's me.
Um, wait, let's talk about fire drills because I think there's some funny
Yeah, we were
stories
we were
here.
about to get into that. Now,
Yeah.
when the fire drills happens, this was interesting. Is the teachers, a lot of them, they cheat, meaning they go around and you're not supposed to know when it is,
Yeah.
and then we all tell each other
Yeah,
because
yeah. That's
somebody leaks it, right?
good.
So one
Yeah.
person, and then that person tells their two best friends, right?
Yeah.
And you help the two friends. It's like saving somebody. Who are you going to take with you, right? Like who are you going to save? So you call you quickly go to somebody because they're not ready. You know what I mean? Like and then you kind of you give somebody a tip. Hey, like fire drill 9 o'clock.
What
Just so
does
you know,
that
like
what does that
oh
mean though for
thanks. And
you
then
as
they
the
tell the other
teacher?
teacher. And again, by the time it happens, unless you're like a complete social leper, everybody knows when it's happening. So basically, and the reason you're doing that is because you don't want to be. There's so much pressure to get out and get all the kids, ready to go. You don't want to be the one that screws that up, because they have like, they have to do how many fire drills they have to do a year. There's like a
Four, I
thing.
think. Three
I
or
think it's
four.
more now. I think
Oh.
I think it's like 8.
Wow.
conduct 12 fire drills, and 12 fire drills before December. Um, I think 8 before December 1st.
What? No,
Is that correct?
that can't be correct.
No,
8 before December 1st. That's September, October, November. But this,
I
I
mean,
don't.
I
I
don't
could
know.
tell you. I could tell you. I don't have it in front of me,
yeah,
but I
it doesn't
could.
it doesn't really matter. But like what like
It's
think
a lot. I think it's 8 the entire year.
yeah, but
Oh, 8.
let's go back to the what Matt just
8 to
said,
12.
where the news that a fire drill is going to happen. How does that impact the way that the teacher conducts the lesson? Because if it's the winter, the kids have
You
to have
find out about it?
kids have to have their coats on, right?
Yep.
Although, yeah, and well, aren't there some rules where we're not supposed to, if there's going to be a fire drill, we don't have their coats on, and then some go back for it. It's like
Huh.
They
it's
had
it's
that's a
it's
thing, like,
specified.
you know.
Do you
So there's
remember,
two
Brew?
things. Yeah, so there's two things. The first is in New York State now you have to let families know if you're conducting a drill.
Hmm.
So we now get, I don't know if this is the same for your for Sam, Rob, but so parents receive an email saying like
Yeah,
we're gonna have a drill this week, blah blah blah. So that's first of all. That never happened back in the day. Back in the day,
it
it was
couldn't
just like
happen
this is
because
the
we
drill.
didn't have the communication for it. But
Right. But even like a few years ago when we had school messenger systems, like we still didn't do that. This is just like recent. Um, what else? What else? What was the other question? What were you asking?
no, I want to talk about what like what a teacher actually does when there's a fire drill. So like for example, if you okay, maybe you have intel that there's going to be a fire drill, so then you're ready to have your kids lined up and you have to know exactly which exit you're supposed to leave from. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
another thing. So if
Yep.
there's three or four possible ways for the kids to leave the school, you have a dedicated one, and that
Yep.
ensures that everyone gets out. And you get in trouble if you leave through the wrong exit. That's one thing, right? You don't want to be the last one out because that means like then it looks like you kind of like were slow to respond. That's why everyone is like hyped up and eager to get this information that there's going to be a fire drill. Some people would have their kids lined up. If they said fire drill 9 o'clock, people would have their kids lined up at their classroom door at 8:59. And the second that
Mm-hmm.
thing went off, they're already on the way out.
I
Yeah.
Where
did it.
where the person who didn't
I'd
know,
rather,
yeah.
yeah, don't, I would have them ready,
I
I
mean,
think
now what they
also,
do is they have warning bells so that if it's cold out,
Mm,
they do the warning bell first. Kids get their jackets and then
which
and
could be
line
from a
up.
different room.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
you're teaching on the second floor, their classroom is on the fourth floor. You got to haul ass up to the fourth floor to their room for them to get their jackets.
but then there's
Yeah.
also kids. If you're a cluster, you're not used to walking with all the kids around the school. You might have a class that you never walk with in the hallway, right? They can be completely different with you in the classroom than they are with their behavior walking. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So
That's
like
true.
I remember just really going, almost like if we're gonna have a drill, I'm like beforehand, I'd be like, listen, you guys need to be, you know, perfect on this thing. And I would sort of drill into them how they need to behave and stuff like that beforehand. I was like, oh, we're going to talk about it when you get back, a little bit of fear just to make sure because otherwise this could be really bad, like what, if they're acting up on and stuff like that, because
So,
everybody's watching.
Maddie, you
Yeah.
had an assigned role though. So if you had
Yeah, this is
students
what I'm
and there was
getting
a
at.
fire drill, like how did you get your
No,
kids out while you did your
if
role?
I have a class though, I have to stay with the class. That's only the assigned role if you were not with the class. That's how they did it.
This
Oh,
this is
okay.
the reason I brought this up. This I've been waiting for one of you to say this. I want to talk about the worst role that you can possibly have in any scenario, which is the person that has to block the traffic during a fire drill.
That was me.
That was Matt.
I have to
I
do
didn't
that
hit
now.
it though. They gave me. I had to hold the sign. Like the big. Like you can't. It started. I don't.
You
Maybe
never
some
had
people
people
hate it.
try
I.
to like
I
basically
was
run
like,
you over?
yeah, they would come right into you. I was like,
Mhm.
fuck you. I'm standing here. I looked at it as like, no, I'm protecting my kids crossing the street. Come on. Like, hit me. What are you gonna do? And I'm like, I would like move along, and they'd be like honking and everything. Like, what are you gonna do? And I don't show them the sign, and I'd get extra obnoxious. Like, see, look, what do you want me to do? Stop all my kids so you can come down the street more? No,
Well,
there's nothing you can do.
it wasn't so much
You
when the
have to
kids were
wait.
actively crossing. It was when all the kids were out of the school and you still have to block
You
the
still
street.
have to. You
Yeah.
can't let a car come down the
That's
street, and
when
they're
the
like,
people in
get the
cars would
fuck
go
out of the way.
crazy.
And like, no, I'm not getting out of the way. And then one car
So,
drove into me and a principal once.
Yeah.
no.
Like
That's what
completely.
I'm
Yeah,
waiting for this story to emerge. I don't want to
yeah,
say it. It's like the guy in the car. It's like the guy in the carpet that we talked about. I'm not going to get into that, but
yeah.
so
What?
Matt,
Wait
that
a minute,
story. I'm waiting for
Matt.
this story.
What?
Our first principal. Yeah, she drove into like me and her. Yeah.
Did you hit
And
the car? Did you,
no,
what was your reaction?
we sort of moved to the side, and the car kept coming. I'm like, no, 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 stop! You can't come this way. And the car, it like went almost to the sidewalk. You know what I mean? Just to get around us. And we're like, no, man, sweet. So what? I think it went through at that point, right?
Yeah.
Because there's nothing, like if what are you gonna do? Get run over? Yeah, just drove right into us. It was yeah, maniac.
Oh my
No, nobody got
God.
hit. I mean, I don't think the principal got hit. I know I didn't get hit. Um,
I do
so
this job now and I get very angry at the drivers. Like,
well,
did you get angry? Like I
I
saw,
was told there was one of the administrators all the way across down the street, and then I was with the second administrator that I've had, and one of them was giving her a hard time all the way down the street, and because the car wanted to come out, and it was like cursing her out and stuff, wanted to come into the street. And I was where I was, and then I was like, with the sign. And I sort of like said, like, and she's telling me what's going on. I'm like, and it's like, oh, it's down there, right? I'm like, and I sort of leaned in, like, you want me to go and help? And then, the principal's thinking about it, thinking about it. I'm like, go, Matt. So I give her the sign back and I just jet down the street. You know what I mean? Kids are still coming up and down the blocks. I'm in the middle, right? And then I run back over and I stand with the person. And then I'm like, yeah, I'm blocking this person from coming out. Now, this guy, I sort of stand there and almost take over the job of just being the blocker for this car so that the guy can't come out with the car. And this guy in front of the teachers and the kids start to curse me out so bad. You motherfucker, this is going into me. Now my kids are hearing this. And the teacher, I remember, was like standing there, right? And with the kids, as like, see, Mr. Jacobs, he's getting yelled at, but he's not answering back though. Like, motherfucker, look how composed he is. And I'm like, those girls, you stupid. And he's right at me, this. And then he went into me hard. And then as soon as they went in, it's all over. Go ahead, get out of here. You cocksucker. So you go in and it's intense. A lot of people were like, how
You know
could you
what?
not
A
answer
learning
back? And I was like,
experience for
what am I
those
supposed to
children.
say in front of the kids? Start cursing at the top of my lungs, back. You just take it. He's
Yeah.
not getting out of the car to fight, or
Big
anything like that.
big lesson here though is like people who are looking to looking to get into teaching, they go through a teacher program. They don't tell you, like, none of this is covered.
No.
No,
It's not like,
no.
you get there and it's like, oh, by the way, part of the job is, almost getting killed by people who want to run you over. You
He
know what I
could have got out of
mean?
the car and
Or
started
like,
something, and then you obviously can
dealing with
protect
active
yourself.
shooters and you know what I mean? Like,
Right. Yeah, it's dangerous.
I was in middle school. When I first started. Like, they don't tell you this. A dead body in front of my school when we left. And like, and my kids came out, and they don't prepare you for that.
Right.
oh, teaching in middle school.
I was a teacher in middle school.
Yeah.
We left the school. There's a dead body right in front of the school,
It's insane.
lying out there, and police weren't there yet or anything like that. And then we're all leaving, and my students are there. And
all right. Well,
like,
we're approaching the 1 hour mark. I just
Mhm.
wanted to we got to wrap this up.
all right. Well, this was started out with wrestling, and then we went.
Oh, I know what
to
my
a completely
my
different-
wrestling name's gonna be.
Yeah. It's
You know what that is?
it's not a word.
Oh,
Her
she's
wrestling
from-
name is just a face.
Wait, is she from Home Alone?
No, I'm gonna name
She
it.
does look like the pigeon lady, though.
Yeah, I thought that
Is she from
you're the pigeon lady?
Poltergeist?
No, that's not Poltergeist.
I named it.
Oh, Large Marge. Okay.
That's Brugge's
That's gonna
wrestling
be
name.
my
Wait,
name.
Matt,
That's
what's
gonna
your
be my
wrestling
name.
name, Matt?
You know what? I mean, when I goof around with Dylan and we're wrestling, he's he just I don't have one. He used my professional name, Matthew Cade, but if I had to think of one now, it'd probably be probably go with like one that was already established. I'll probably go like Superfly, something like that.
One of the best of all time.
Yeah.
And Rob, yours is the professor.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
I would
go
wear
with my-
glasses and bow tie and suspenders. Everything would be highly technical.
I'm
I'd
gonna
have
go
like
with-
charts.
Dork.
So
I'd have
Rob,
like
would you
plans. Like
would
a
you be-
tube
would
of
you be a-
plans that I hit people with.
would you be a heel or a baby face? Meaning, would you be a bad guy or a good guy?
Oh,
You could see
heel.
maybe you totally be heel because you would like probably knock him out with your clipboard.
I'm the perfect heel.
Yeah.
I mean, we should talk about this in another.
Wait, I'm sorry. What the fuck? Wait, what?
Heel's a
What's
bad
a-
guy. Wrestling has a good guy versus a bad
Oh,
guy.
a heel.
Okay.
Okay.
Heel.
Yeah, I know
They
what
call
a heel
it a
is.
heel, or
Yeah.
they call it a baby face for the good guy. These are the wrestling
Oh.
terminologies. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
so
Much of the
Rob is basically
magic-
saying he would be the bad guy. So meaning he would try to cheat and like use his clipboard maybe to knock him out or something like that when the ref wasn't
Right.
looking.
Much of the
I would be the baby face.
Yeah, much of the
And-
magic of teaching, my teaching anyway, is being the heel with the kids, being the antagonist.
Are you were great. Well, you know what? One of the favorite thing we did. Do you remember the joke we would do? We build up a story, and then you'd be like, and then you're about to do the pun, basically give the big answer to the story, and like tell you about the time when I was driving down to Las Vegas with a couple of friends of mine. So it was basically, I don't know what you would call this, but it'd be like, did I ever tell you about the time? That would be like the name of this, and we would just build it up, and then it could be a big secret to a puzzle that they were trying to figure out. I'm like, today is going to be the answer to what you've been working on all year. And we'd be like, about to tell them. And then Rob would be like, here it is right now. It's coming right now. This is the answer. You'd be opening up the paper. Be like, did I ever tell you about the time that I was going down to
that I was on
And
the
then
ski
you hear
lift.
Yeah, you see like all the kids all like, and they were just
They're all like,
the first
"Ah."
time would build and it would build and build and build. No, now for real. And it was like a minute left in the class. I'm gonna tell you now, Oh, but your teacher's here. I just that's it. Oh, come on. And they leave.
This is what I would tell. This is one of the names I gave myself with the kids. I changed my name to it.
What?
It's on. Look at my.
Emo,
Oh,
emo, emo siwa,
Yeah,
emo siwa.
yeah. And I let this go on for years before I revealed. No one ever figured it
I
out.
remember that one. I remember you told
Read it
me your name was
backwards.
Mr.
Yeah,
You
I was
told
gonna
me your
say,
name was
isn't
Mr.
it awesome backwards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I remember you
It's
called
so
yourself Mr.
ridiculous.
Handsome.
Yeah.
Remember Mr. Handsome?
Mr.
Yeah.
Handsome.
I stole that one.
It was kind of like a, you know what, Matt? It was like Mr. Perfect, you know?
Yeah, I know.
It was like
I know.
Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig, you know? It was like Mr. Perfect, Mr. Handsome,
I like the Mr. Handsome.
Mr. Smarty, you know, whatever.
Do you
Like
remember
anything.
we went to middle school, and we stopped by, and then one of the students, like, we're trying to remember our names, and like they said, I think Mr. Jacobs, and they said to you, Mr. Handsome?
Yeah.
It's like, what? That was your name.
Mr. Amazing.
Ding dong. It's really funny.
It's like you really went far with this Handsome. One kid
Wait.
went home. Really thought it.
All right,
Was it-
Maddie, take us out
All
of here.
right, guys.
Oh, wait, what is this?
Large March. You're right.
Oh, is
That's
that?
a
Oh,
great
okay.
picture.
Okay.
Well,
That's what I looked like last night.
yeah. Brugge had a good night at the engineering ball, and we're gonna wrap up today. Playing teacher. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Matt. Rob and Brugge. Brugge is also known as Large
No,
March.
large Marge and emo.
I thought we're past that now, so
Yeah,
I'm actually
yeah.
excited.
We
For
are,
people that
Matt.
aren't on YouTube.
We
you know,
are. She's not.
because that's going to be like, in AI, it's going to be like Large March just said this week that she went to engineering ball. Mr. Handsome was it was a great podcast. Anyway, all right, thanks for tuning in to Playing Teacher, and we'll see. This was episode 27. We'll see if episode 28, season 2, episode 28, coming soon. And thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Okay, see ya.